Before I come to the question of dialogue and the level of dialogue, how stable do you think President Zardari is?
Again, I don't want to pronounce a judgment on the stability or otherwise of the leadership in Pakistan. We, as I said, would advocate and have advocated always the need for a stable, secure, a peaceful Pakistan, because that helps the Pakistan people, it helps relations with India, it helps the neighborhood.
The press, both in the West and in India, are beginning to speculate about the possibility of another military takeover in Pakistan. Does the government of India believe that that now looks more likely than it did, say, earlier on?
Let me say that we consistently and closely monitor developments in Pakistan. It is our neighbor. It is a country that is next door to us. And as I said, developments in Pakistan are of relevance to the entire region. And obviously the growth of civil society, the strengthening of democratic institutions in Pakistan is good for our region.
So clearly India wouldn't favor a military takeover. You wouldn't welcome one.
Really, to speak out on Pakistan's internal affairs, I think, would not be advisable.
Now, on the other hand, the Pakistan High Commissioner in Delhi has said that it's unfortunate there's no dialogue between Delhi and Islamabad, given that India at Sharm el-Sheikh committed itself to action on terrorism should not be linked to the composite dialogue process. And secondly, that dialogue is the only way forward. Is there a possibility that in this new year, 2010, we could see the resumption of dialogue?
Dialogue between India and Pakistan is obviously the way forward for normalization of relations and to resolve outstanding issues between the two countries. We in India have never turned our back on dialogue with Pakistan. But let me also add that terrorism is a standalone phenomenon, but terrorism affects the climate of dialogue. It affects the prospects for progress of this dialogue. And when Pakistan refers to the need to resume composite dialogue, we say you have to create the right atmosphere for that dialogue to move forward.
Can I put this to you? How much credit do you give Islamabad for the fact that there has been no major terrorist attack or strike since 26/11?
I think it's too early to give credit or otherwise to Pakistan for what has or has not happened. Terrorism directed against India continues from territory under Pakistan control and from Pakistan. Look at what has been happening in Srinagar over the last few weeks. Look at the incidents of infiltration that have gone up despite the fact that this is cold weather. In winter, traditionally, we haven't had so many incidents of infiltration, but those continue. They clearly point to the continuation of efforts directed against our territory, directed in order to foment violence in Kashmir and terrorist incidents.
So clearly Pakistan needs to do more before India is convinced that it is effectively responding to the terror India faces, which emanates out of Pakistani soil.
Karan, let me say Pakistan can do more.
And you're waiting for that before any talks resume?
We wait and we hope Pakistan can do more.
What about the opinion expressed by some analysts that if India were to resume the dialogue process, it might strengthen Islamabad's hand in delivering on terror?
I know this school of thought, and it, I think especially has gained some currency in Pakistan in recent months. But let's look at it this way. Terrorism is not a tap you turn on and off because of the absence of or prevalence of dialogue. Dialogue does not flow from the barrel of the gun, Karan.
There's another problem which seems to be also occurring, which is that the Indian government's refusal to talk seems to have hardened attitudes in Pakistan. The popular mood has turned to resentment. Some even say there's a simmering anger towards India. Does that worry you?
Well, it is a matter of concern that the people of Pakistan are being fed with slanted and biased accounts of what India's attitude may be. India's attitude is for dialogue and to promote the peaceful resolution of problems with Pakistan. But Karan, all of us who have grown up against the background of what has happened in this relationship, I think there is a sense of déjà vu that I get. And I feel a sense of sadness also that people, ordinary people in Pakistan, are being missiled by propaganda of this sort.
And so your